Have you ever sat down with every intention of finishing an important project, only to find yourself mindlessly refreshing a tab 2 minutes later? You didn't consciously decide to do it, your hand just moved. That sudden itch to escape boredom is something almost everyone has felt, and for the longest time, it's easy to think it's a personal failure of willpower. Maybe you're lazy, maybe you've lost your discipline, maybe your brain just can't focus anymore. But what if something else is happening? Your brain is constantly learning what to pay attention to, and modern digital life gives it an extraordinary amount of fast, unpredictable stimulation. Endless scrolling, notifications, short videos, games, constant novelty. Every swipe gives your brain another opportunity for something interesting to happen. And when those quick rewards become a regular part of your environment, something important can happen. Your expectations begin to change. Think about it. If your brain becomes accustomed to getting something new every few seconds, a quiet activity can suddenly feel strangely difficult. Reading a book feels slow. Working on one problem feels frustrating. Waiting feels uncomfortable. Nothing is necessarily wrong with the activity. Your brain has simply learned to expect something faster. And that's where dopamine enters the story. Dopamine isn't simply the chemical that makes you feel pleasure. It's deeply involved in motivation, learning, reward prediction, and deciding which experiences are worth pursuing. So when your environment is filled with rapid, attention-grabbing rewards, your brain continually learns from those experiences. This is why the idea of a dopamine reset sounds so appealing. Remove the stimulation, stop the endless scrolling, take a break from constant novelty, and supposedly, after a certain number of days, your dopamine system magically resets. 7 days. That's the number you may have heard. But here's where the story gets interesting. There is no scientifically proven 7-day switch that suddenly resets your dopamine system. Your brain doesn't have a countdown timer. Day 7 doesn't arrive and suddenly make your dopamine receptors perfectly sensitive again. The real process is much more complicated, and in some ways, much more interesting. So what actually happens when you dramatically reduce the constant stimulation? Let's imagine the first couple of days. At first, the old habits may feel incredibly loud. You reach for your phone without thinking. You feel bored during quiet moments. You suddenly notice how often you are checking for something new. That's not necessarily evidence that your dopamine has crashed. It may simply be the result of learned habits and powerful environmental cues. Your brain has learned boredom equals phone, waiting equals scrolling, difficulty equals distraction. And when you remove the usual response, the urge can become surprisingly noticeable. Then something begins to change, not because your brain has completed a magical detox, but because you're giving yourself fewer opportunities to reinforce the old loop. The notification doesn't arrive. You don't immediately check. The urge appears and then passes. You return to the task. That repetition matters, because your brain is constantly learning from what you do. By the middle of the week, you might notice something subtle. Quiet doesn't feel quite as unbearable. A walk without constant stimulation becomes easier. Reading doesn't feel quite as painfully slow. You can sit with a difficult task for a little longer before reaching for an escape. But here's another important point. This won't happen at exactly the same speed for everyone. There is no universal Day 3 transformation. There is no guaranteed Day 7 recovery. Your habits, environment, sleep, stress, the type of stimulation you're reducing, and how strongly you've learned those behaviors can all influence what happens. And that brings us to the biggest misconception about dopamine resets. You don't necessarily need to eliminate dopamine. In fact, that's impossible. Dopamine is essential for normal brain function. You don't want to live without it. The goal is not to reset your dopamine. The goal is to change the behaviors and environments that constantly pull your attention towards immediate rewards. Think of it this way. Imagine you've been listening to music at maximum volume all day. When you finally turn it down, normal volume might initially feel strangely quiet. You don't need to destroy your ears to appreciate sound again. You simply need to stop blasting them constantly. Your attention can work in a similar way. Give your brain periods without constant novelty. Let boredom exist. Finish something difficult without immediately switching tasks. Put some distance between yourself and the cues that trigger automatic checking, and gradually, ordinary activities can become easier to engage with again. So, how long does it actually take to reset your dopamine? The honest answer is, there isn't one number. Not 3 days, not 7 days, not 30 days, because your brain isn't performing a factory reset. What you're really doing is giving your brain an opportunity to learn a different pattern. 7 days can still be useful, not because day 7 magically repairs your dopamine receptors, but because a week can give you enough time to notice your habits, interrupt some automatic behaviors, and experience what your attention feels like without constant digital stimulation. And that may be the most important reset of all. Not your dopamine, your relationship with stimulation. Because maybe the reason normal life sometimes feels boring isn't that your brain has stopped working. Maybe your brain has simply become very, very good at expecting something new. And the moment you understand that, you can start teaching it something different. Thanks for watching Science Precise. If you want to understand what your brain is doing behind everyday behaviors, subscribe and explore the next video.